Welcome to the Forensic Financialist, where we simplify business and leadership challenges and choose the road that leads to wisdom and excellence. We discuss tough issues facing business and figure out easy-to-implement solutions. Using the rearview mirror approach, we look in the rear view to move towards a brighter future. Here's your host, Jeff Newkirk.
Welcome to the Forensic Financialist, where we aim to improve your business and help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Jeff Newkirk. Today we're going to start a new series on leadership. Leadership, I think, is so important. It is what really can drive the success of a company or really hinder the success of a company. And I think there are 13, and I call them absolutes of leadership. Now, let me say up front, these are not new terms. You will have heard them before. I like a lot of John Maxwell's leadership principles, Simon Sinek, Patrick Lencioni, a number of leadership gurus out there. So I want to make sure to give credit where credit is due. I do what I can to read as much as possible, and everything that I've learned and experienced, these are the 13 that I think really are essential, and I call them absolutes, that will create a strong leader. And I think there are degrees. It's not like all of a sudden you are at the top of your game with one of the absolutes. You're the very best possible. It's a scale. You start out square one or, ground zero, and you move your way up. John Maxwell talks about the 5 levels of leadership, and I couldn't agree more. And there are different growth opportunities as you become a better leader, stronger leader. But what I want to talk about in these 2 episodes is what I consider the 13 absolutes. So today I'm going to run through all 13. We're going to spend a couple minutes on a few of them. And then in the second episode, or the second part of this leadership series, we'll talk about a few of the other absolutes. So let's get started. Absolute number 1, good heart. Good heart. 2, energetic. 3, perseverance. 4, courage. 5, positive attitude. 6, good communicator. 7, serve. 8, disciplined. 9, humility. 10, vision 80, tactician 20. 11, the triple L. 12, faithful. And 13, high emotional intelligence. Those are the 13 absolutes. Now, let's go and really dive into a few of these and talk about them in detail. Let's go back to number 1, good heart. Good heart. What do I mean by a good heart? Well, I think you have to have character, integrity, and honesty. That's all part of having a good heart. I remember several years ago, one of my proud parent moments, and believe me, I had a lot of moments that weren't necessarily proud parent moments, but this one particular situation, I look back at it and I think, oh, good, I actually did something good there. So my son participated in youth wrestling, and we had to sign him up for the program for the season, which was at the high school. And on our way out of the high school, we were the only 2 in the hallway. It was a Saturday morning, and there was a $20 bill laying in the hallway. And my son said, "Oh, man, $20, awesome." And I said, "Well, yeah, that's awesome." And he picked it up, and I said, "Well, put it over there on top of the garbage can. Not in the garbage can, but on top of it, so somebody could see it." And he looked at me like, "Are you crazy? It's $20, man. And I said, hey, bud, did you earn that $20? No. Well, is that your $20? And he said, with a long face, no. I said, well, then we can't take it. Put it back or put it on top of the garbage can. He said, well, somebody else is going to take it. I said, well, that's somebody else's decision. My dad used to always say, the world's full of choices. You got to make yours. Well, in that situation, we had a choice. We could have picked up that $20 and went on our way. Could have taken him to McDonald's and, bought him a Happy Meal or something. But that wasn't the right thing to do. So like I said, I've had a few not so proud parent moments, but that one was a good one. And the good news about that particular situation is that my son to this day remembers it. And that was probably 12, 13 years ago. So good heart. Absolute number one of leadership is you've got to have a good heart. And that includes character, integrity, and honesty. Absolute number two is you've got to be energetic. You've got to have some energy. Brendan Burchard talks about the HP6. There are 6 high-performance habits that we need to have if we're going to be at the top of our game. And one of those is that we have to have energy. And I couldn't agree more. But what does this mean? Does this mean that we just, physically are like the Energizer Bunny and always on the go? No, that's not what it means. It means that we have to be physically in shape, but mentally we have to be in shape. We have to take care of our brain and we have to take care of our body so we have the right amount of energy that we can lead and people see us as a good example. I think back to a situation several years ago, and I was responsible for, it was a business, and I was in a situation where we were interviewing candidates for a position. And I felt it was always important that we conducted interviews as a team. So we had a series of interviews, and in one of the interviews, I was with somebody else, and candidate was exceptional. On paper, outstanding. And interview went very well. And interview was over, and so turned to the manager, and I said, hey, that was a pretty strong candidate. What'd you think? And our manager said, well, yeah, pretty strong candidate. Okay, yeah, pretty good. I was like, well, what gives? What's the hesitation? And she said, well, I think that candidate had snuffleupagus syndrome. And I was like, snuffleupagus syndrome? And she said, yeah, no energy. So, okay, for those that know Sesame Street and remember the character Snuffleupagus, sort of a character with low energy. And for this particular position, anyway, we needed somebody that did have some energy and could make it through the day. And in a very, I don't know if it was certainly a descriptive way to put it, but I'm not sure it was necessarily politically correct. But you don't want to have snuffleupagus syndrome. Can't even say it. We have to have energy. So absolute number 2, energy. And for our cognitive growth, I think we always have to be reading. We always have to be taking classes or go to a seminar. We have to challenge ourselves. Stay at the top of your game. Okay. Absolute number 3, perseverance. Perseverance. It was Confucius that said there are 2 people. One said that she can, and the other, she said she can't. And Confucius said they're both right. So 2 people, I can and I can't. They're both right. You decide which one works for you. And what Confucius is saying is that we have a choice, right? We have a choice. We can decide to move forward and accomplish, or we can put our head in the sand and let the world pass us by and not have that will and determination to get through whatever is in front of us. So choose I can. Choose I can. Have the perseverance that you need to make it through the situation. Believe me, you are going to be challenged. You are going to be challenged with your integrity. You're going to be challenged with difficult situations that might not have anything to do with integrity or your moral compass, but just hard. It'll be easy for you to give up. You've got to persevere. You've got to have the will and determination to make it through. Why? Because people are looking to you. People are looking to you to finish the race, get across the finish line. Be that example. If you put your head in the sand and decide, I'm not gonna be able to do this. It's hard, or whatever excuse. What are people gonna see? They're gonna see somebody that is not determined, somebody that doesn't have the will, and they won't persevere. Okay. Number 3 is perseverance. Number 4, courage. Courage. Wow. The opposite of courage is fear. So, as a person of faith, and I try to have a strong faith, fall short many times, but as a person of faith, I have learned that in the Bible it says 365 times, do not be afraid. Now, in my opinion, if it says in the Bible 365 times, do not be afraid, one for each day, I think God really means it, right? He's really trying to get it through our head that we should not be fearful, but have courage. Have courage. Years ago, when I first started consulting, I completed a business plan for a client, and I was proud of it. I thought it was a good job. It was at the very beginning of my career. And we had a meeting, and in this particular meeting, there was my client and then another person that my client was trying to work with. And so I knew that the outcome of the plan was going to be, it was good news for my client, but bad news for who they were trying to do business with. So the person that they were trying to do business with responded very negatively, which I expected. And, really spoke about the plan in a negative way, which again, I expected. It wasn't what they wanted to hear. But I delivered the plan the best I could with the information that I had, and I was proud of it. Meeting ended, and my client called me back and said, "Well, that's a great plan, Jeff. Good job. One problem, though, it just is not quite what we need." I said, "Well, okay. Well, what is it you need?" "Well, we're trying to come to an agreement with this other person who was at the meeting, and so we were wondering, Jeff, if you could go back and sort of fine-tune those numbers." I said, "Well, what do you mean fine-tune those numbers? The numbers are the numbers." "Well, yeah, but isn't there some wiggle room there?" So, you get the point, right? The point was I was being asked to compromise my ethics and deliver something that I knew was wrong, but that they wanted. So that was a tough lesson learned. I did not do it. I didn't go back and fine-tune the numbers, and I didn't have any more work with that client, and it hurt me financially. But I also could look at myself in the mirror and say, I made the right decision. And I can cite other situations that I've been in where my ethics have been really challenged. Really, really challenged. And most of the time, I'd like to say all, but I'm sure I've missed some those challenges on occasion. But the big ones, I think I've done okay. I've made the right decision. It's cost me. It's cost me financially for sure, but that's okay. It's okay. At the end of the day, it's not about money. It's not about stuff. It's about doing the right thing. And you can't put a price on that. So we've been through 4: good heart, energetic, perseverance, courage. Let's knock one more out before we wrap up for today. Positive attitude. Positive attitude. John Wooden, famous basketball coach from UCLA, once said, "Make each day your masterpiece." What a great saying. Make each day your masterpiece. Basically, he's saying at the beginning of each day is like a blank slate. It's whiteboard. You do whatever you want with it, but it's up to you. It's not up to anybody else. Nobody else is going to make your masterpiece. You make your masterpiece. It's up to you. And you have a choice. You can either have a positive attitude, or you can have a negative attitude and say, woe is me, and never apply anything to the whiteboard. Keep the slate blank, so at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. I've always said when you're looking to hire somebody, when you're in a hiring situation, you're going through the interviewing process, you always want to look at somebody's attitude more than their skill. Depending on the job, you can train skill. You can teach somebody the details of the job, the tasks associated with it, but you can't teach somebody to embrace the day, or as I like to say, attack the day. Really attack the day with that positive attitude that says you're going to make a change. You're going to make it happen today. You can't really teach that. It has to come from inside. And you can see that in somebody. I mean, you pass somebody on the street, if they're, looking down and have a frown, you wonder if are they positive? I don't know, but they're not friendly. As opposed to somebody that has a smile on their face and they have energy and, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. It's a big difference. Big difference. Positive attitude is contagious. And so is a negative attitude. You want to be around sunshine or you want to be around clouds and rain? I choose sunshine. Okay, that's 5. Good heart, energetic, perseverance, courage, positive attitude. That'll do it for this episode. The next episode, we are going to go into good communicator, serve others, disciplined, humility, vision, 80, tactician, 20, triple L, faithful, and high emotional intelligence. I hope you got something out of this episode. I really like talking about leadership. It really gets me excited when I know that we have the opportunity to build stronger leaders. And that's what we need. That's what we need these days, strong leaders. So I hope you got something out of today's episode, 1 or 2 nuggets that you can apply right away, and maybe even got a little inspired. I hope you had a great day. Make tomorrow even better. Peace, everyone.
You've been listening to the Forensic Financialist, where we simplify business and leadership challenges and choose the road that leads to wisdom and excellence. To learn more about Jeff, visit his website at understandablesolutions.com or email Jeff at jeff@understandablesolutions.com. Mentioning this podcast will get you a complimentary discovery session with Jeff. Until next time.